Hello, family and friends. Here's an update on our travels. We started off in Visalia, parked in the cow pasture or the horse pasture of my friend Cheryl Dawson, an old co-worker. Then we moved up to the National Forest just outside of Sequoia National Park. We dry camped or boondocked here. You can see I was quite busy cutting firewood for our evening campfires. After a few days, we moved to a second spot, which had a little bit more expansive view, and we really enjoyed the solitude out here. We spent a lot of time hiking and saw the sequoia trees, but we covered the sequoias in a previous video. Then we went to Kings Canyon National Park. What a canyon, deeper than the Grand Canyon, they say, with a crazy road, a narrow road that led along steep cliffs from the top of the mountains down to the valley floor. When we got to the bottom of the canyon, we've traveled along the Kings River, which I saw as a good opportunity to get my drone out and have a little fun. Our destination at the end of the road was the Mist Falls hike, 9.2 miles up to a beautiful fall. Cheryl Dawson was going to join Kristen and I that day, but Kristen wasn't feeling well, so Cheryl and I hiked to the falls, and then 2 days later, Kristen and I did the same hike again. It was so beautiful. On either side of the canyon were these steep mountain walls with beautiful views off into the distance. The next day we went back to Sequoia National Park and hiked to the top of Morro Rock with an outstanding view down toward Three Rivers. Then the day after that, we hiked to Tacopa Falls in Sequoia National Park. What a beautiful hike. Unfortunately, both of our cameras died before we got to the falls, but we did get these great pictures of a mother bear with her two cubs. After that, we packed up our trailer and moved on to Yosemite National Park. There we mooch docked, it's called, that is, put our trailer in front of the house of my cousin David Roselle and his wife Terry. They hosted us for a little over a week, I guess. Terry volunteers at the Mariposa History Museum, so she gave us a back room tour. One of the funny things that happened while we were there is this silly turkey who saw his reflection in my bumper and kept thinking it was another turkey. He pecked at that bumper for over an hour. During the week that we were there, we went into Yosemite Park almost every day for a hike. The first hike was to Sentinel Dome and another point that hung out over the valley down below. It was a beautiful hike, a little strenuous but not bad. Here you can see Kristen climbing up to the peak of the dome. The dome had great views of Half Dome and the valley floor down below. There's Yosemite Falls. The point we hiked to had these deep fissures cut into the side, and then from the observation areas on the edge, you could look literally straight down into Yosemite Valley below, several thousand feet below. Our second hike was to the northern section of Yosemite called Hetch Hetchy. Here this huge dam had been built to dam up the river, and the dramatic cliffs that were similar to the Yosemite Valley were then greatly covered in water. This dam provides water and electricity to much of the city of San Francisco. It's a beautiful area. Our hike after crossing the dam went through this tunnel and then along the edge of the lake out to a fall. Here's the fall. The brochure described it as one of the taller falls in the country, although that's a little hard to believe. Our third hike was with Dave. We went around Mirror Lake, which is in the valley of Yosemite, right underneath of Half Dome. There's a lake there, and you can see reflections of Half Dome in it. And that's why it's called Mirror Lake. And then we took a drive out to Tuolumne Meadows. I was sick that day, so we didn't get to hike, but we did get to see the area. There's a gorgeous lake, a lot of granite features, and beautiful meadows. We strung our hammocks up and I napped while Kristen read and hiked around a little bit. We are at a point actually where the John Muir Trail and the Pacific Crest Trail come through the area. That wrapped up our time in Yosemite, and next we're going to head off to the coast of Northern California.